students of standard 10. Today I am going to discuss with you a new topic. Okay, and the topic is exceptions. Here we are going to study exception, that is the definition of an exception, types and examples of exception handling, that is the definition and advantages. Then we have exception handlers, keywords and blocks. And apart from the exception, we will also study another one, that is access specifiers. Okay, so let's begin with exception. Now, what is an exception? An exception refers to any undesirable situation that arises during the program runtime. Okay, so it is another type of, another type of error, or we can say that it is a type of runtime error. Basically, exception is a subset of error. When we define an error, error is a global term, which means syntax error, runtime error and logical error. So these three errors are included. Okay, syntax, logical and runtime, they are all included into what is termed as an error. Whereas an exception is just a part of error, is a type of error, and it is a runtime error. Right? So that is the definition of an error, of an exception. When we talk about types of exceptions or examples of exceptions, remember the examples of exceptions during the runtime, they are basically, it's a one word made up of many words, and the first letter of every word is written in uppercase. To give you some examples, here are some of the examples now. One is arithmetic exception. Second one, number format exception. Third one, file not found exception. Remember, all these exceptions, they are like, it's a one word made up of many words, and the first letter of every word is in uppercase. Okay. Then another one you have here, which is a common type that you will find. Index out of bounds exception. Okay, index I capital, out O capital, off O capital, bounds B capital, and exception E capital. So these are some of the examples of exceptions, or these are also known as types of exceptions. Okay. Now let us understand what is the meaning of the next topic, that is your exception handling. Now, what is exception handling? An exception handling refers to the process, okay, it is the process of controlling the occurrence of exception. In other words, we can also say that way, that exception handling is a process of identifying and controlling the occurrence of exceptions during the runtime. The advantages, when we talk about the advantages of exception handling, you know what exception handling does? The first advantage is that it separates the error code from the normal code. The codes are basically, it's a normal as well as it's made up of both normal as well as error code. So here the error code is being separated so that the normal code is allowed to be functioned properly and during the runtime. So it separates the error code from the normal code. Then once the error code is separated, it enhances the readability of the program. The program becomes easy to understand, okay, and to execute. Then the third advantage of exception handling, here, that's apart from it separates the error code from the normal code, it makes the program, enhances the readability of the program, and the third one is that it makes the program fault tolerant. Okay, so these are the three advantages of exception handling. Then the next one is here, I will explain you this one, the entire exception with the help of an example in the next page. Exception handlers. What are exception handlers? Exception handlers are either keywords or blocks which are used to handle an exception or control an exception. Okay, what is the meaning of this controlling an exception? It involves monitoring, identifying, okay, an exception, as well as throwing them to the respective classes, means flushing them out to the respective classes so that they can be handled properly there. So here the exception handlers are keywords or blocks. So here the examples of keywords are throw and throws. What does throw does? T-H-R-O-W, remember, there's a difference of just one letter, there's S and here it is just throw. So what throw does is, it identifies the occurrence of exceptions, means which type of exceptions that are being occurred over there, it is identifying, trying to monitor. Whereas throws, the second one, it flushes them out. Okay, it flushes them out to the respective exception classes. Remember, each exception has its own respective classes to handle. So these exceptions are thrown with the help of throws keyword to the respective exception classes. So that's the basic difference between throw and throws. Throw identifies or monitors the occurrence of exception, whereas throws flushes them out to the respective exception classes. Then we have a try. Now these are blocks. Okay. So what is a try block? A try block, contains codes of the program, or contains the block of the program code where the exceptions are likely to occur. Okay, so exceptions can occur at any part of the program. So these are included within the try block. So try block monitors the occurrence of the exception. Then we have a catch block. Catch block identifies the type of exception that is occurring. As I said just now, that exceptions can be many types. So what are those types? Those types are specifically caught by a catch block. Okay, or identified by the catch block. So there can be, only one try block followed by many, one or many catch blocks. So there can be any number of catch blocks following a single try block. Then we have a finally. Okay. Now finally block contains certain statements, okay, that are meant to be executed even during the exceptions. So even when the exception occurs, the codes, the statements that are present within the finally block are executed. Alright. Now to sum up this exception and exception handling, I would like to go into this page where we have a simple real world concept. Okay. Here what happens, look at the classroom atmosphere. In the classroom atmosphere, what do you find is, there's a teacher and the teacher gets a report. The setup is there, teacher, monitor and or the counselor. Then, then you have a student, two types of students are there. Then we have an external body related to this classroom is your principal and the parent. Now here what I have done is, I have separated students in two parts. That means there are students who are normal and there are other students who tend to disturb the class. So the ones who tend to disturb the class, they can be categorized as an error code. Okay, to be simple as that. And the ones who are, really paying attention in the class, I have classified them as a normal code. So what is the function of this error code? The error code, however, does not allow the class to function, isn't it? So what the monitor and the counselor does is tries to identify. The teacher tells them, try to find out who are those boys, who are those students, okay, who are disturbing the class. So here what happens, the monitor and the counselor is the job to identify. They monitor and they identify that the errors. And then what they do is they report it to the teacher. This teacher, what they do is, just like the throws keyword, flushes them out. Either they send them out of the class or they direct them to the exception classes. So here would have the principal and the parent, they are exception classes. And the teacher and the monitor are the exception handlers, where the monitor and the counselor, they identify the error codes and the teacher flushes them out either out of the class or to the parent or to the principals, where they can be handled properly, they can be taken care of. So this is a very simple example. If you have understood, you have understood the exception handling. Okay. Then we move on to the next one, that is access specifier. Now, as you have seen, what are access specifiers? You know that access specifiers are also known as visibility modifiers. Okay, they are basically keywords that are used to define the visibility options in Java. That means whether the data members or the member functions are fully accessible, partially accessible, or not at all accessible. So these things have been determined by the keywords known as access specifiers, also known as visibility modifiers. Okay, so here look at this particular chart, and with the help of this chart you will be able to understand each and everything. The tick mark indicates accessibility, means accessible, and the cross marks says that they are not accessible. So when we have a public access specifier before a data member, like if I write public int, okay, x. So when you write public int x, then in that case it becomes a public access specifier. It means that the member functions of the same class can access, same package can access. Here there is an example that I have given over here. Same class in the same package. That is, this is your package 1, package 2. If the data was, suppose if the D1 is your public type, then it is accessible by the member function of the same class, by the member function of the class of the same package, as well as member function of what you call, it can be this way. A subclass, this is a subclass. Okay, suppose C2 is a subclass, you can access from the subclass also. That means M2 can also access D1. Then another one is that is other class, that from other package. Other package means it is though it belongs to other package, the other function like M22 and M222 can also access D1. That is the meaning. Means it is accessible by the member function of all the classes irrespective of their package belonging. Then comes the next one is your private. If suppose if I make D1 as private, then what happens is the member function of the same class can access only. So only the member function of the same class, okay, and none of the classes. So here what happens is there is only M1 can access D1, but not M11, nor M2, nor M22, nor M222. None of them can access. So it's only M1 can access D1. That is the meaning. So the member function of the same class can access only, and no other particular member function of no other classes can access. Then if it is protected, if it is written as protected, and then you write int x, then in that case what happens? Member function of the same class can access, that is M1 can access D1. Then here what happens? Member function of the same package, that is of the same package here, that is C11, here it is M11. M11 can access here, M11 can access D1. Then also what happens? A subclass, that is M2. M2 function can also access D1 if it is a subclass. This subclass can be here also, can be here also, any package, anywhere it is, it can access. Then the last one, that is the friendly default or package. Please remember, default package means when no access specifier is written, then it is understood as a default or friendly or package access specifier. In such cases what happens? If the data member is declared as default type, then in that case, like for example D1 is declared as the default type, then the member function of the same class can access, that is M1 can access. Member function of the same particular package, that is M11 can also access D1. But if it is a subclass which belongs to the other package, will not be able to access. If this subclass is the same package, it will access, but if it is another package, it will not be able to access, nor any other classes of any other package. So this is what exactly I was wanting to tell you. The type of question that you can get over here is the definition. Okay, like for example, you can get defined public or private or protected or default access specifier, or you can get differentiate between any one of them. So if you remember this particular chart, it becomes very easy for you to define in your own words. Please be careful about this. Okay, so with this we come to the end of our your first semester syllabus, and hope you have understood and you are trying to understand. In case you have any problem, do not hesitate. You can call me back. You can call me and ask questions. You can send me on my WhatsApp. You can even send in your in the comment section also. You can write and you ask question if there is any doubt. Till then, take care. Be safe. God bless you. Thank you.